it's me. Of course it's me. Welcome to this week, the final Wakes World, where we're wondering what planet the lovely Dishy Rishi is actually living on. Well, I'll tell you this. We'll moan about this and lots of other things on tonight's Wakes World. Did you see what I did at the beginning? I confused you, see? I started playing the SaturGAY Live theme song at the beginning. I thought we'd muddle everything into one show, but no, it was a mistake. That is a mistake to make, as Amy pointed out earlier on one of the posts, an error. Or end of an era. So, hello Rob, how are you doing, sir? Hello Amy, darling, good to see you. Nice. Yes, so look, I have headphones in, there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that, at the end. So here we go, the boys are back from their radio broadcast. Hey, good evening, Martin, good to see you. Yes, it's Friday, my last Friday with you, but for a break, for a little while to concentrate on other aspects of Club F.O.D and life. So I'll tell you more about that a little later on, because I know that you really only just come in to moan. Well, you come to watch me moan or listen to me moan. And I don't know, maybe it's a gift, maybe it's a skill that I've picked up over the years. So how are you doing? Let me know. Say hi, I know some of you are already. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name has been for the last year Jamie Wake, and I've been with you every weekend, a year this weekend, in fact, doing this, that, on the other for Club F.O.D. So let's put me in a nutshell, shall we? Ancient drag queen has been leather queen. There we go. That's me. That'll be on my epitaph. Someone tell me what the correct word is. And, you've got me for maybe an hour. Depends how chatty you are. If not, we'll be done in half an hour. We're all going off to watch Emmerdale. Other soap operas are obviously available. Sophie's in the building. Hello, Sophie. She says, hey, Flower. Season finale. Yes, we all get them. Even Drag Race comes to an end at some point. Mano says, good evening from the lounge. And Mark says, good evening from... Well, I'm assuming your lounge as well, but not obviously our lounge, because that would be illegal. Even when the rules change next week, it would still be illegal. I was running late, hence having a crafty cigarette. Let me put that out, look a little bit more professional. Says me with a red t-shirt on that has got, you can't see it thankfully, it's below the camera lens, a cigarette burning. That was me rushing for a meeting earlier. If you are a Wakes World virgin, let's face it, in the world of Wake, there are many virgins. We go out to the highest bidder. Don't be shy. All this is literally, I'm not going to buy it. It's just a simple format for F.O.D TV's lockdown listings, or as I say, the isolation sensation. All we do is talk about news, views, and issues. I might rant about something. I say might, it's probably quite likely. And if I can be bothered, or used to be bothered, I used to make things. But not this week. In fact, I need to send a picture to the computer to show you later. Because guess what? Do you remember the peppers we started growing? Was it this year? It was this year, wasn't it? Well, we've got about 40 pepper plants downstairs. We grew for Club F.O.D. Some of them have got peppers growing on them. Like, it's only 3 months old. Bit early, and I've not taken them outside. So... there's a disaster in the making. So I'll try and get the photos up to show you. If not, I'll put them on the Club F.O.D page later. So how has your week been? Remember, whatever we do, this is show, or any of our shows that we do here at Club F.O.D, is directed by you, your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. Because without you, we are nothing. Well, I'm always nothing. That's who I am. It's my middle name. Look at my hair. Nothing. But... without your opinion, I got no direction to go, because even though I may have a script, there's a few pages tonight actually. Not the show, half of it's stuff that printed out incorrectly, but it looks interesting. So without you, I can't say anything, I can't discuss anything, because it's a two-way conversation. Like you have on any pub, bar stall or restaurant table. I speak, you listen and respond. That's simple. So Martin says, eating from the phone calls DJ lounge. Okay, so everyone wants a lounge now. You've got what I used to have, a through lounge. where you've got the lounge, kitchen and everything in the same room. Is that what it's called? I need a clever person to let me know. A through lounge? I don't know. That isn't one of the subjects tonight to talk about. But if tell me if I'm correct, or I'm going back to a childhood that didn't really exist. I mean, I was hatched out of a Kinder egg, to be perfectly honest. So, how's your week been? What have you been doing? What has been exciting in your life? Are you looking forward to Monday when we can meet up with groups of 5 to make 6, which is very exciting. Outside, obviously, can't have them inside. I seem to have a pubic hair in my eye. I don't know why. That's from earlier. But yes, so we can meet up with people from next week. That's exciting, isn't it? So let me just say hello to Robert. Robert's there. Hello, Robert. He says, hi, Jamie. I love it when people say my full name. Some people call me different things, you know. They call me James. Or Jay. I just realised I haven't brushed my beard looking at the camera, but there we go. So nice to see you, Robert. So yes, what can I say? Am I a little sad? I am a little sad in the last week's run. I have to put this out and make sure this is clear. It's a break. Just like there was a break in Friends between Ross and whatever other character, Rachel, Ross and Rachel. Mainly just so I can go and do my degree, basically, which is taking up a lot of my time. And of course, you know, we've got other things happening at Club F.O.D that basically means, you know, I need to put some input in there as well. So doing this every week is hard work. It's been a commitment. And I did say a year ago that I would hold your hand all the way through lockdown. And I think I have. And as we have the road out of lockdown, don't forget, in Club F.O.D, ours isn't a normal road, it's a yellow brick road, isn't it? And I'm leaving you in capable hands with everything that's left. So, Amy says, you don't want to know what we call you. I wouldn't be able to hear you anyway, to be perfectly honest, Amy. Deaf as a post, as you well know. So, what's been grabbing your attention this week? What's been happening in the news? As usual, I need you. I need your comments. I need your opinions. So please, all you've got to do, type them in the chat. I will see them. I will bring them onto the screen and we'll talk about them. It's that simple. But this was actually just, let's slag off Jamie. And then I made it highbrow. I decided to talk about the news. And it changed everyone's idea of what was going to happen. But hey, that is exactly what we do. Shall we have a look at the headlines? Yes, let's, Jamie. That's my other voice talking to me inside, a bit externally. But here we go. This week's headlines. So for those of you that follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I had a little whinge about stuff earlier. Hello, Gary, liking the show. I saw Sophie did as well. Thank you. Have you seen what Sunak, I can't even say his name, Sunak Rishi has been saying in the news the last 2 days? Yes, have you seen that? He told us we might all quit our jobs, we might walk away on our feet, because, yes, there are other modes of walking away, I suppose, if we don't return to the physical office. Have you seen this? What an idiot. What an absolute plonker. I'm so sorry to say that word. It's an old-fashioned swear word. But yes, you know, Rishi, you are a plonker, sir. David says, hi. Hey, love, you joined at the right time. He says, you can't beat the spontaneity. Imagine you've just left college or university. Yes, because you've got to pay for that now, the Tory government. You start this job in a big company and there you are, sitting at home alone. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. He doesn't sound as common as me when I'm speaking. But he told The Sun, of all newspapers to tell. He says, how do you get to know your peers? How do you get to know the culture of an organisation? How do you get those mentors which are important to your career development? I say, Dishy Richie, Dishy Rishi, isn't it really? What's in it for you? Hey? Because let's face it, I'm not sure that anyone in our government, and you've got to remember there's a difference between Parliament and our government. The government are the Tory ministers and stuff. I don't think they either can read the opinion of the general public or they just don't care. I'll let you choose which one. I'm not doing a poll. But I really don't think they know what's really going on in life. I mean, did he not learn any lessons from the Eat Out to Help Out? I mean, after all, from that, who was he actually helping out? Obviously, restaurants were suffering and places that sell food to get their money back. But what happened as a result? And, of course, schools going back too early. The virus went everywhere. It exploded everywhere, which, of course, everyone, all of us armchair critics were saying was going to happen. Didn't say I told you so when it did we? But yes, darling Dishy Rishi, you know, you may be, to some people, a very good-looking guy, but I don't think the brains match what's on the outside. Rob says, sounds like he sucked up to get where he is. We've all sucked up something to get where we are, darling. Martin's getting his first jab tomorrow. Do you know what? I booked my second jab in. Can I just point that out? But I didn't do it for my doctor. I thought, you know what? I'm so not worried. I'm a little concerned that with all the stuff happening in April, you may get missed off. So if you've had your first jab and you know your NHS number, here is the secret. Go to the NHS vaccination page where you can book for certain groups, and put in your NHS number, and it will go through and say, oh, you've not gone to your second appointment. Well, we know. And it lets you book your through. So I've done that today for basically to make sure I do it the week before camping as well. So back to Dishy Rishi. Look, he wants to pack out trains. You know, a lot of people don't work on the doorstep, do they? They have to rely on public transport, whether that's a bus, whether that's a train. Not so much aeroplanes or broomsticks these days, but these are going to be packed. And this is a country that, well, let's face it, already has a vaccination crisis, doesn't it? We're not going to get the vaccinations in April. We know that. We were drip-fed that until it happened. So we've already got a backlog going to happen there. And if you think about the people he's talking about, that the youngsters, these are not even on the priority list at the moment. They're last. They're summer and beyond. So I don't think Tory boy is that in touch, to be perfectly honest. You know, I thought I'd have a look and just see how in touch Dishy Rishi was. And this is what I found out. He is the current Chancellor, and he's been dubbed as the Maharaja of the Dales, and is thought to be the richest person in the House of Commons. But how wealthy is he? He began his career with investment bank Goldman Sachs. He then progressed to working in the hedge fund sector and eventually launched his own firm called Thellamine Partners in 2010. His firm had an initial fund of £557 million. In his role as Chancellor, Mr Sunak's salary is £71,090. Oh, I nearly gave him a pay drop, which excludes his salary as an MP, which is £79,468. Mr Sunak is married to Akashab Murphy, the daughter of Indian billionaire and consultancy firm Infosys, who is worth an estimated £2.5 billion, according to Forbes. I mean, does this guy actually know how much a pint of milk is or a loaf of bread? Does he, buggery? You know, so he's not even going to know how much the people who've been working from home would normally pay to commute into work. For example, if I was going on a train to my work, I'd be paying about £5,500 a year. So I've saved that money this year. Well, not necessarily that much money because I drive in, because I worked out it was cheaper. But I still have to do things like congestion charge and that sort of thing. So I think people have got so used to working from home now, they're enjoying a work-life balance, for example. You know, think of all those parents who now get home or are at home so they get to see their children. I mean, they might be a bit naffed off at the moment, having been teaching at the same time over the last year. But now they're back at school. When they come home from school, parents are there. So the benefit of that surely does humongous things for society. Because we hear all these stories about how people go into crime because it wasn't a loving mother, a loving father, they weren't around, that sort of thing. You know, we've got that now. I can't see many companies wanting to change the ethos they've created. I think lots of companies will be thinking, oh, do you know what, we can save some money on office rent here because the infrastructure to get people working at home has been spent and can be carried on. I think most people working from home are enjoying it, apart from those who obviously go out and see clients physically. They're having to do that virtually at the moment. Or they enjoy that travelling around. And I guess everyone's different, but I think it needs to be looked at. I mean, for example, I can't see them talking about when the MPs are returning to the House of Commons, which is their place of work. Do you see where I'm going here? It's almost like one rule for the plebs and one rule for them. And you know what? I can bet you bottom dollar that probably he's got some vested interest in some commercial properties that are not making money with the offices being empty, or there's some wealthy donors out there that, let's say, are lobbying the government to say, I need people back in my offices. Nothing surprises me anymore. I know it's been very easy for the last year for me to sit there and criticise the government, and it's not Parliament I'm criticising, it is the government, the people trying to put the rules in place. I don't know, who's working from home at the moment? Are you working from home? Are you enjoying working? Are you hating working from home? Because obviously there's always two sides to every story. I can see some of the benefits of being in an office where you can interact a lot easier with people around you. In my office, it doesn't happen. I work for a Spanish company and the rules are quite strict. We at one point were having to fingerprint ourselves to get in and out of the office to show that we've been there, because the trust is very strong. But that's a different culture. That's because I work for a Spanish company. When we go back, I know that I've got planes of acrylic either side of me. I know that and the masks won't enable me to have a conversation with everyone. I'll be very isolated and very trapped off. I know Amy says, I'd love to work from home, but they won't let me. Well, I don't know. We could put, you're having an extension built, you might as well have Green Park Tube put there, excuse me, put there with Green Park Station. I don't know, it's like an extension. Just do it. I think that's exciting, Amy. Put a tube stop, because then someone else will have another one and we'll have a little journey going on. Failing that, get a skateboard. It might be easier. I don't know about you. I've found that working from home has improved my work-life balance. I mean, I don't always go to my office 9 to 5. Sometimes I'm up there 7:30, 8. Sometimes I finish a little later. But I know that I would normally be commuting at those times, so it's not a big hardship. But it's very nice sometimes at 5 o'clock to go and flop on the couch, grab myself a non-alcoholic beer or a cup of tea, and sit down and have a hobnob, because other hobnobs and biscuits are available. Sophie says, working from home, but working days are so much longer and more intense when I was working on client side. And I think it's a mixed bag, isn't it, Sophie? I do it because I just happened to be there at the time, although I have had meetings at 8 o'clock or in the evening. Like last night, I had a university lecture. Finished one meeting, I went straight into a Zoom university lecture. I would not have been able to do that if I was working in the office. Obviously, I could stay at the office for 3 hours, then another 2 hours going home. I think the conversation really needs to be around how we can encourage a hybrid version of working from home. So maybe you work a couple of days in the office, but the rest of the week at home. I think the risk is still strong. I think there's not enough people who have had the vaccination. And actually, let's face it, we don't know how the vaccination is going to work. I know that I can still catch the virus. All the vaccination does is lessen the effect and hopefully prevent really serious illness or hospitalisation. There's no evidence at the moment that it stops the transmission of the virus. And think of it this way, there are people who will not be getting the vaccination, and not because of their choice. At the moment, they are too young. At the moment, they have health conditions that doesn't allow them to have a vaccination. I think if we're so fixed on getting people back to offices, then why aren't we getting people back into the restaurants, into the pubs, into the theatres, into the casinos? Because the transmission level indoors, I would have thought, would be quite equal. Unless you go to church, because God will protect you when you go to church, apparently. That's why they remained open throughout all of this pandemic, or for the latter part of the pandemic. So, yes. That sounds like I whinged for a long old time there, didn't it? But I'm very frustrated by it. I'm frustrated about this out-of-touch government. And I'm not political in that sense. I'm a human. I have needs, feelings, thoughts, opinions, just the same as everybody else. Although there were some people saying, vaccinations are going to put a chip in you. I think that's wrong. And have different false opinions on the COVID virus being fake, for example. But I think it's fine to share your opinions, but if you do it safely. Amy says, there's a fine line between working from home and living at work. There is. And I never used to think about working-life balance. And then last year, as I went into lockdown with my company earlier on, because who I work for, and I was going to the allotment at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was lovely, going out in the fresh air and doing so. So my work-life balance from then has improved. Martin says, and pubs with the proof of negative test result or proof of vaccination, how's that going to work? Well, I commented on the Berkshire Live website this morning about this, and I got a bit of attack. But, in principle, I think the passport, I think they're calling it a passport, has its merits, I think. It's unfair to people who can't have the virus for whatever reason, or it's been delayed, or you're a child, or you've got a medical condition. I get that. But actually, if I'm going out, I do want to be safe. I do want to enjoy myself, but not worry that I'm going to go home in an ambulance. I come on the number 6 from Whitley. I go back by air ambulance. How exciting is that night out? But I think the passport has its merits, but I don't think it's going to be easy to police. I think it's going to be open to fraudulent activity. So, for example, I feel I can do this. I've got headphones in. Oh no. And I don't know if I'm going to get this on the camera. I have digital apps for my doctor. I got it free because only one does the appointments, only one does the Face ID, what's it? Only one does the repeat prescriptions I need, and one sends messages. So I have it free. So one of them, my GP. I don't know if I can get this on the screen. How close do I have to go? I know because it's difficult to focus. It's on a fixed focus. So my GP app, if you haven't got it, get it. It's great. They're putting the ticket on there, so I can prove that I've had the vaccination. So I think it's a good idea in principle. But then people are saying, "Oh no, but it's not until we've got everyone vaccinated." Well, isn't that like closing the stable door after the horse has bolted? Really, is it a bit too late at that point? Just like we locked down the borders a year into a pandemic, and even then we've only done it half-heartedly. It's about putting people in lockdown 3 months into a worldwide pandemic when it's too late. It's like letting people have Christmas and then snatching it back and saying, no, you are going into lockdown. And let's face it, here, those watching in Berkshire, we lost our Christmas that we all planned. But no, I shall be holding a Christmas party very, very soon for those people that were coming to mind, so don't worry. Amy says, I'm going to miss these rants. No, you're not, sweetheart. I've been ranting a lot of work today. You can tell by my voice it's going, which is stupid because my surprise later, I need my voice. You're having 20 minutes of impressions. Woohoo! What else does Amy say? She says, most pub staff, put it on the screen, Jamie. Most pub staff are in their early 20s. How dare they? So how are the pubs to open the staff and not allowed in? That, there's lots of things they've not thought about. It's just a throwaway comment from Boris, probably hiding in a fridge or something at the time. Other white appliances to hiding in are available, obviously. Martin says, bar staff have got to be door staff, not fair. Well, a lot of pubs normally would have door staff. I don't know the pub we go to, for example, the Blagrave, will have door staff. Again, it is expensive to do. I don't think until we open up properly and nightclub that we'll see a lot more of the door staff. But how many door staff will be left in the industry? That's the thing, because they've not had work for a while, and they can do security elsewhere, I'm assuming. So yeah. I've almost got a rant into my thing. I'm halfway through already, blimey. We may finish later tonight. So, let's have a look at this week's gay gossip. So, I'm doing something different this week. Now, as you know, I normally do something really light-hearted when I look at gay gossip. Just because I like to lighten the mood. But today I found a news story that completely shocked me and I want to share it with you. Brendan's just letting us know before I move on. The plan of his company is to spend 50% of their time in the office when they go back to work in August and September. His team also started working during lockdown. Martin says, I trained them my way, no issues, no bad habits. The beauty of Brendan is that you can actually, I can't get Amy's comment off the screen. There we go. Beauty of Brendan, you can ignore Brendan if you have to. Martin says, we got about 10 minutes to fill now with advertising waits. Well, nothing takes 10 minutes selling on this show, believe me. I can confirm I've been 3 weeks since my jab. My side effects are still there. Or I must stop smoking these duty-free cigarettes. So as I say, I wanted to talk to you about a news story that I came across today. I'm going to read it to you verbatim because it's quite a serious news story and I think it's very important to read. 2 men and a 15-year-old boy have been found guilty of beating a gay man to death with a brick and a metal pole in a horrifying feral attack. Jerry Apicella, 51, was ambushed by the group as he made his way home from his local shop on the 3rd of December 2019. He was found dead in his apartment 12 days later from injuries sustained in this devastating attack. On Thursday, the 25th of March, Shay Nicholson, 20, was found guilty of his murder. Martel Fabian Brown, 24, and a 15-year-old who cannot be named for legal reasons were found guilty of manslaughter, whilst a 4th man was found not guilty. The men attacked Jerry simply because they wanted to, prosecutors said, adding that his sexuality, appearance, or alcohol dependency may have also played a part. The 4 waited outside the shop and Mr. Apicella began making his way home down a nearby alleyway, said Detective Chief Inspector Simon Palmer. What he didn't know was that the group had come up with a plan to ambush him. CCTV footage clearly shows Nicholson crouching down, lying in wait while the others stalking him behind. The attack was brutal. Nicholson used a brick to attack him and his 15-year-old attacker landed blows with a metal pole. A woman who had previously offered to walk Mr. Apicella home witnessed the final throes of the attack and rushed to his side as the group fled the scene. Jerry was taken home by the woman and locked his door behind him. He is believed to have died from his injuries just hours later, with a post-mortem blaming a bleed on the brain which caused him to fall into a coma. The man was a reclusive alcoholic who lived a mainly solitary life in a small bungalow, but was a familiar face in his community as he visited the shop daily to buy his alcohol. His mother, who lives in America, called police when she didn't hear from him for a couple of days. Detectives quickly discovered shocking CCTV footage of the attack, which proved central to the investigation. Nicholson was also caught on CCTV bragging about the attack and using homophobic slurs to describe his victim. Whilst the hate crime motive wasn't determined, prosecutors noted the group often referred to the victim as, and I'll use the word and I do apologise, faggot and a nonce. Nicholson, Brown and the teenager will be sentenced in May 2021. This isn't Russia. I'm not describing an attack in Chechnya. I'm not describing an attack in the Eastern Bloc or even in the United States of America. This is the UK. In fact, it's Doncaster in South Yorkshire. I think, I don't know about you, this has floored me, knowing that even now, 2021, I know this happened at the end of 2019, we still have a bloody long way to go. This happened, maybe not on our doorstep, but on somebody else's doorstep. I mean, there's 2 big aspects. There's obviously a hate crime here. There's a fatal, vicious hate crime. But there's also this gentleman, Jerry, who social isolated. I don't know where his network was, what resources were available in the community for him. Who popped in to say hello? We know his mum phoned regularly, but did someone else contact him? He was known in the community. Why were they not making sure he was okay? Have we forgotten to love thy neighbour, for example? You know why I all started Club F.O.D. Is about making a difference. It's making sure we are looking out for each other. Because if we're looking out for each other, there's the hope. I have to stress that it's a hope that attacks like this can be prevented. Because we've got that network around him. If we'd have stayed a little longer with Jerry, would we have been able to get the medical assistance that he needed? Hard, isn't it? Having to hear something that we expect to hear elsewhere, in other countries, in other communities, in other environments. And here it is happening in the UK. Martin says bring back stoning. I'm not sure enough people have come away from the biblical days at the best of times. I think this is why a lot of the times these attacks do happen. And Mark says, how the hell was that not defined as a hate crime? It's tough, isn't it? We don't expect it. We know it does happen, and it's rare and it's isolated. And yet this dreadful attack we're only hearing about now. Not good. So what's the solution? What are we going to do? How are we going to change things? We all know that obviously Club F.O.D is about to launch a befriending service, which hopefully will keep people who are already socially isolated happy. But how are we going to make sure these sort of events and tragedies don't happen? Can we rely on the police to prevent them? Is it their job to prevent the crime? Their job is usually to solve it and police the streets and make sure that legislation is adhered to. But how do we as a community change that? We used to think that Pride festivals, for example, were the main central point of how we can educate people. Because there is no difference between our sexualities and other people. Pauline, it's lovely to see you. I shall wave. I don't have the thoughts, the ideas. I don't have the words. These things destroy me, hearing these things. I thought as a community and within a wider community, we've gone beyond that. I hope these people get the punishment worthy of what they've done. Obviously, it doesn't bring a life back, does it? Brendan says, I have to admit, I did get smashed over the head with a brick myself, late teens, early 20s. They got a shock when I grabbed it off them and fought back. Do you know what? I thought you were going to say I grabbed it off them and started building a wall or something. But I'm trying to lighten the mood and failing dreadfully. You mentioned in the 20s there, Brendan. And we have, with the greatest respect, we're thankfully not in those periods now. Where potentially, I suppose, a lot more attacks happen. We know a lot more attacks happen. We just have to look back at the news stories and the press and stuff like that. But I'm shocked, and I'm sure that you are shocked that we're still hearing news stories about that. This is why I got into the campaigning side of things I did for LGBT plus equality with these stories. Amy lightens the mood a bit more. Thank you, Amy. Bless you. And says to Brendan, it was the 1920s. You can just imagine him doing the 90s, 20s dances. We know he doesn't do Kate Bush dance, but he might do the 90s, 20s Bushes. You may notice above me our fun and diversity. March total, as we got 4 days left to go, we got to £110. So it's 36% of our target of 300. So if you do have any spare change tonight, please feel free to make a donation to help us. It goes out to local projects, causes and charities. We have a trustees meeting on Sunday to decide, excuse me, I'm trying not to burp, how bad, to decide where some of that money's going. But if you do have any spare coins, all you got to do is visit www.SaturGAY.co.uk, or, as I just remembered, I pushed it up in the description and all of our social media channels, there is a link to the Club F.O.D portal to facilitate your PayPal donation, and brings it on the screen. I'm pointing in the right direction on the screen. No, there, goes up there. There we go. Martin says, picture it. 1929. There we go. We all know Brendan is one of the Golden Girls. Anyway, talk about the Golden Girls. I've got a little episode of the Golden Girls to show you, and the Golden Girls today are telling us how you can make a suggestion where that money is going to be spent. Here we go. Here's Blanche, and here's Dorothy.
What do you reckon the theme's going to be when the pubs reopen?
I think we've got a bit of time to talk about that. In the meantime, we need to talk to these good people.
Oh, sorry. Hello, we are the F.O.D Uncles from Club F.O.D. We are an LGBT plus charity based in Reading.
As a charity, we raise funds and periodically give grants to groups who support our charity's aims. As a charity, we want our community to come up with suggestions as to who our grants go to, and at the moment we have funds which are available to issue as grants.
As part of our community, do you know of any individual, group, business, organisation or company that actively support the LGBT plus community that you feel could benefit from our support?
Please have a think about this and contact us. We really do want you to get in touch, so please email us at
funds@f-o.d.co.uk. That is funds@f-o-d.co.uk, all lowercase, and give us a brief reason why you feel Club F.O.D could help.
and also please include contact details for your nomination.
Thank you in advance.
Martin.
Brendan.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Let's give them a little fanfare. I never get it on point. Even on my last show. How dare I? How dare I? That was the Golden Girls, or as we know them, the F.O.D Uncles, minus the cheesecake. Which is a shame. Brendan says, we really wanted to suggest where our grants go. We are doing this for you. Oh, grants. Sorry, grants. I thought that sounded a bit odd. You saying where to put someone's gran, but there we go. So yes, we are doing everything we do for the community, and so yes, every little helps. And obviously, other supermarket slogans are obviously available. Now, if you're watching this on my profile, which I know sometimes people do, I won't see all comments. Just so you know, head over to the F.O.D TV Facebook page, the YouTube channel, or the Club F.O.D main charity Facebook page, and I will be able to see any comments that you have. Who's it? Amy says, do we have any Phil to go with the grants? You know, they used to call me Phil Mitchell when I used to have my skinhead, because a big round face, you sort of look like Philip a little bit. And obviously when I wasn't Mr. Leather UK 2017, I obviously did have a big rounder face when I did that. Did you see the other news? It's personal news, that I will be hosting Fetish Vision again, which last year 40,000 people around the world watched. And no one knew it was me because I was in drag. But they have asked me again. I had a meeting this week to finalise. And guess what? Potentially going to be going to be hosted in Antwerp every year from next year. So, all very exciting. Nice to be involved in something that's a little camp. This year, will I do it as Supernova or will I do it in full leather? Only time will tell, or if I can be bothered to shave this off. I am going to do a sponsored beard shave for Club F.O.D when this does go. So keep your eyes open and your ears open. Something that I am completely unable to do. Oh my God, look, it's almost 9:15. Can you believe that? Usually at this point, I'm like, oh, let's go home. Well, we're already at home. Do you know what? I don't know if I'll be taking this down today. As you can appreciate, I'm not actually sat in my lounge, as you might have worked out. Here we go. Here's some bitchiness coming from the people who aren't drag queens but just have the tongue to go with it. Brendan says, shh, Peggy. Amy says, Peggy, or is that Supernova? Oh, darling, you've spelled my name wrong. It's S-U-E, Panova. That's actually Susan Jane Panova. I gave her a whole backstory and everything. Never actually bothered with it. And then Martin says, what's your Mr. Leather UK? Oh my God, what a surprise. Do you know what? I will get that sash back if I have to break into that museum myself and climb it in stilettos up the wall. So there. So yes, give me 1 second. I need to top my wine up. As you know, my wine downstairs is not so much ready. So you won't be able to see this because the box is green. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Sophie always says that sounds wrong. What does Brendan say? My hometown. Still have to bring Anna Martin to Antwerp. Well, I won't tell you where I'm going. Actually, where we stayed last night, it was very nice, Brendan. The lady gave us a little rainbow lanyard on the key ring, so she must have known we were gay. Amy says, so 2017. Yes, thank you for that, darling. Let's go into the final 15 minutes. Do you know what? I was going to rant about something, and you know what? I've got nothing to rant about. I think I've done it for a year. I've got nothing to moan about. I think we've covered it all. And actually, the things I do want to moan about is I can't because I'm a CEO of a charity and it doesn't look good. Because, people who know me personally on a social will know that I can really go off on one about it. Sophie says, Jamie doesn't like sleeping outdoors in small fields as a little camp. Darling, I glamp. We all know this. I know you're trying to be cheeky, but I glamp, and it's very important that I get that point across. So, next week, the rules change again. I think we're sitting technically step 1, but it's part B. So, you can meet up with 5 other people outside. And guess what? Monday, Tuesday can go up to 25 degrees. It's only for a few days. So, who's up for meeting up on Monday? Oh no, bugger. I've got a quiz. Who's up for meeting on Tuesday? Tuesday outside. Send us a message and let us know. It'd be nice to see some human faces. Oh, look, Outlook. What's that? Oh no. My Outlook calendar is telling me that Wake World's about to start. No, darling, it's already started. I must have put the time as well. Amy says, I can't believe he's run out of rant. I will find some. I'll do a special video just for you, Amy. I know it gets you excited. So, yeah, are you looking forward to being able to meet up with people legally next week? We know people have been meeting up illegally. No, Rob, here we go. Rob says, isn't it only 2 households? So, no, it's not. It's 2 households or 6 people. Someone's bugging up the legislation, I believe, because they said, it's back to the rule of 6. Well, the legislation doesn't say that. The legislation says you can meet in groups of up to 6 people. So, that can be in a private garden. So I will be organising a barbecue very soon once we clean the barbecue from last time. Or you can go in a park. Because you can already meet up with 1 person and sit on a bench or have a picnic. But now you can meet up with 5 other people. So how exciting is that? So let me tick off what I've done. So we've done the news. We've done the gay gossip. We're glossing over the rant tonight. I've done the funds video. I suppose I can tell. Amy just sent a comment. I can't ignore Amy. They've made it so confusing. How can it be false? It's actually maybe it's my law degree helping out. It's not actually that as confusing. I just read the legislation and the book they produced. You can go and Google it. It's the Roadmap Out of Lockdown. The 4-step plan. It's actually in layman's language. It's easy to read. So if you want to double check if it's there. I suppose Club F.O.D could share that because obviously it affects what we do as a charity, and that might help a few people out as well. I suppose I could tell you what is coming up next, or come over the next week. But before I do that, you're probably wondering, what after Wake's World, what's going to happen? Well, the virtual parties will remain on a Friday, and obviously, if anybody out there does want to do a show on a Friday, please get in touch. I have a gap that is filling. Well, not me now, because Sophie's responsible for Club at Home anyway. So please, you can get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with Sophie or any trustee, really, and let them know what ideas you've got. We'll help make it a reality. It really is that simple. If you saw Support You's show on Thursday, which was fantastic, absolutely amazing, you'll see just how easy it is to grasp the system. And Lorna, bless her, actually showed one of her team to do it, and she was in the background, which was pretty good. If you're looking for the link to the virtual party, please check the description, by the way, Brendan. It is actually in the description. It's where we put it now, to make sure it's easier to access for everybody. So what's going to happen? So I will continue every other week on SaturGAY Live. And so I'm on tomorrow, and then be Sophie, and I'm sure Sophie will announce tomorrow who her co-host is going to be. I'm never too far away. I'm like a bad penny and a bad smell. Well, let's not say bad smell because Martin's watching. I'm always going to be around just in the background, so I can concentrate on the Befriending Service. Actually, as my role as CEO, do a bit more of that. I also, drum roll please, I am going to be doing a radio show. Mainly because I haven't got to set anything up for it. There's no planning required. I know some of the DJs on Radio F.O.D actually do playing playlists and stuff. I don't. I just make it up as I go along. It's so much easier for me. I go how the mood takes me, which probably gets me in trouble an awful lot. So here we go. Here is the first announcement of the radio show, not starting this Sunday. It will start from next Sunday. So here we go. It's Serpanova's Muircap and Music. And made possible by the community fund, fully licensed on Radio F.O.D with PRS and PBO. It's Sundays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. As you can see, I've had a F.O.D logo put on my Muircap. But don't panic, I'm not going to be sitting there sweating in leather while I'm doing the radio show. So it's every Sunday at 7. You can download the Radio F.O.D app from the app stores. That's Google Play or Android. And also there's a Radio F.O.D skill available in Alexa. So that's a week Sunday. Thank you very much. I can see all this conversation. Brendan is being told it's in the description. And then Brendan is saying the link is only on Facebook, not elsewhere. But Brendan, Mark isn't on Facebook. He must be seeing it on YouTube. Am I right, Mark? You have to let me know in the comments. Because the description does get blasted. It's usually in the bloody description, Brendan. What's going on? So Mark can see it in the description, but Brendan can't. And they're both on YouTube. It's one of those magical conundrums we have to work out and get it right. While you're thinking, I'll be drinking. Making up slogans and catchphrases since 1927. There we go. So let me tell you what's coming up in the next week. So here we go. Monday, tomorrow, SaturGAY Live at 8 p.m. with myself and Sophie on F.O.D TV. Monday, the F.O.D quiz night comes back. It's been proving very, very popular in Bizzer and Bizzer. Please join in. Find the event on the Facebook page and add yourself. Tuesday, alternative weeks, it's Lady Loft. She's on at 8, Rachel's at 8 p.m. On Radio F.O.D. Thursday, it's Gary's Oral Pleasure. Now, I got to 7, but I think he's starting at 8 this week. Sent a text message through just now. On Friday, 6 p.m, the F.O.D Uncles on Radio F.O.D. And I'm assuming they'll be playing their music an hour later in time for the Club F.O.D Friday virtual party. On Saturday, 5 p.m. is the F.O.D Uncles, followed at 8 p.m. on SaturGAY Live on F.O.D TV. Followed again by the SaturGAY virtual party. And then Sunday, my brother Serpanova will be there with Muircap and Music. No idea what the show's about, and I'm sure he doesn't know either. Remember, we need you to be part of the lockdown listings. We're looking at pre-recorded and live content focus for the LGBT plus community. It doesn't take a genius to do. All you've got to do, send a message through to Club F.O.D or any one of the operational team or trustees, and we can make your dream a magical reality, because that's how groovy we are. Let me take that off the screen. There we go. Brendan says, oh yeah, I can see it now. I was only trying to be more inclusive. Sorry, it won't happen again. I can't imagine you tried to be inclusive. That was fake. And Mark says, poor Brendan, he got hit in the head in his 20s, never been the same since. Now we've got a point in his timeline. It's like a Gallifreyan. A point in his timeline where to find out where it all went wrong. Martin says, link is only on Facebook, not elsewhere. Oh no, why is that coming up again? There we go. Was it you tart? Take that off. Oh. I mean, that's a bit odd. It's putting all these little messages up on the screen. So, what can I say? I can say thank you for everyone that has been with me, certainly in Wakeswell, which started last year. Thank you for supporting and listening to me. Give me a platform to whinge my heart out, because it turns out I quite like it. Quite like moaning. Ask Mano, he'll tell you that I do. So thank you for staying with me and putting up with me a little bit. You're in safe hands. Sophie, of course, is still with F.O.D TV, and Support You is still on the shows. We have lost a weekly worth this week, sadly, but more shows are planned, and you never know, I might come back and have a whinge at some point when things settle down. So what leads me to do is go on to a very, very special screen. I'm going to do something that we've never done. Sorry, I need wine for this bit. So emotional. Oh, Sophie says something nice there. Thank you, Jeremy. Friday nights will not be the same anymore. And there's good stuff on TV as well, you know. Just you will know. I just watched the good stuff before I came up, actually, or something today. So, do you know what I'm going to do? Let me move on to this screen. It is a closing credits screen. But there's a reason. I'm going to do something I've never done before. We've never done on F.O.D TV. I'm going to do the closing credits. And it'll be dreadful. It really will. But think of it like this. Hoping the music comes out. Sing along if you know it. Once upon a time there was a program where we used to knack a glass or two. Remember how I moaned away for hours without my sash, a wig, or even Sue. Those were Fridays, my friend, we thought they'd never end. I'd bitch and moan and tell you that I'm gay. We'd criticise the news, we'd knock back lots of booze, for we were young, although I'm strangely grey. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Simple words. Then the shitty year went rushing by us, trapped inside our homes from day to day. If by chance I'd see you at the blood grave, we'd smile at one another and we'd say, those were Fridays, my friend, we thought they'd never end. I'd bitch and moan and tell you all I'm gay. We'd criticise the news, we'd knock back lots of booze, for we were young and it has made me grey. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I hope I'm playing out in stereo. Just tonight I stood before the camera. Nothing seemed the way it used to be. In the lens I saw a strange reflection. Was that Wurzel Gummidge or E.T.? Who knows? Those were Fridays, my friend, we thought they'd never end. I'd bitch and moan and tell you all I'm gay. We'd criticise the news, we'd knock back lots of booze, for we were young, although I'm strangely grey. La 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 la, sing along. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, La 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 la. Difficult bit now. Not that bit, that's me playing. Through the air there came familiar laughter. Ha ha ha. I saw your face but couldn't hear my name. Oh my friend, we're older but no wiser, 'cause you bloody forgot my hearing's still the same. Sing along. Those were Fridays, my friend, we thought they'd never end. I'd bitch and moan and tell you that I'm gay. We'd criticise the news, we'd knock back lots of booze, for we are young, although I'm strangely gay. La 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 la. La 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 la. I put it on the screen. Cheeky sod. So there we go. I've just murdered you with my last ever Wakes World. Thank you so much for being part of my lockdown, because I don't think you realise when we're all trapped in houses like this makes a difference. But on behalf of Club F.O.D, thank you for staying tuned. Remember, the donation thing is still up there. I'm pointing, but I'm in a circle, so you can't see that. So I'm going to say good night, God bless. I will see you in the virtual party, the Friday virtual party, which will continue every Friday from now on until we have another show that goes in. But on behalf of myself, thank you very much. And I say, keep being fabulous, keep being brilliant. Remember, spread the love, don't spread the germs, and I will see you all being soon, very soon. Good night. God bless.